Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Dr. CC Says. Y'all, I have missed y'all, okay? It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on, and I had some speaking engagements that I did, and then hubby got sick last week. So he is well, and we are back. So thank you to everyone that took the time to check on him, to send messages, calls, text messages, DMs, and to everybody that checked on me. Because anybody that knows me knows that I am not doing well if hubby is not doing well. Okay. So, side note, y'all, life can be really fleeting. And I think we have a lot of evidence to prove that. And over the last couple of weeks, there have been some abrupt deaths, some people that have gone on to glory that we did not expect. And so let's just be mindful of how we're living. Let's be mindful to live life to the fullest. And what that means is that we are going to do things that keep us happy and healthy. Okay. And if you don't know what will help keep you happy and healthy, then drop me a DM and I can help you figure that out. Okay. So I see I got some folks online. Hey sis. Okay, I said I got three of my sisters here. Hey, y'all. So if you are here, like always, drop a hello in the chat to let me know that you are here and comment as we go along. I love the interaction. If you are catching this on the replay, make sure you drop a replay in the chat so I will know that you have been here. Okay, I hope y'all doing well tonight. So, y'all, let's talk a little bit more about being happy and healthy. That really leads to the series that I want to start tonight. And y'all, I'm real excited about it. So, we are in our holiday series, our holiday edition of Dr. CC Says. So, over the next few weeks, on into December, we are going to be talking about the holidays, all the good things and all of the difficult things that come with the holiday. Okay, we're going to have some special guests. I'm really excited about them. We're going to do some trivia, and that's actually going to start tonight. And we are going to talk about all things holiday and all things that make up and go into the holidays. Okay, we're going to do some internal work. We're going to have to do some self reflection as always. And we're going to talk about some good resources. All right, I see Brian is in the building. Hey, Brian. Hey, Danielle. Hey, sis. Hey, friend. All right, so y'all, we got a good crowd tonight. I know y'all going to be talking to me. So, the theme for this holiday series is what do the lonely do at Christmas? So, who has heard that? Who knows what that is and who created it? Okay. If you know anything about what do the lonely do at Christmas, drop it in the chat for me. So, if you know who made it, if you know, I'll give you a hint. If you didn't know, it's a song. So, if you know who made it, who sung it, what year it came out, any of that information, or if you have any memories associated with the song, drop it in the chat. Okay. And so, just to give you all a little bit of background about how the lives are created, I look at what's going on around us. I look at, what time of year it is, what might be happening in our society. And I ask God to tell me, show me, guide me to what aspect of that He wants me to cover. What is it that He wants me to tell the people? Right. And so basically, what is needed for the audience that I'm going to have. And so when I started to think about the lives for the rest of 2022, I thought about the holidays. And so, y'all, if you don't know, I love the holidays, everything about it. Okay. And when I talk about the holidays, I am specifically talking about Christmas. Okay. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. It's my favorite time of year. Fall, winter months, those are my months. I was born in January. Christmas, the colors, the music, the food, the joy, the spirit of giving, which is what my mom explained Christmas was to me a long time ago. All of those things are what I love about Christmas. The music is very important. And so I have been gearing up for Christmas really since last Christmas, to be honest. Okay. I play the music all the time. You can hear me playing Christmas music in June, in July, all of that. Okay. And I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. Y'all lean in with me. Okay. My Christmas tree has been up since last Christmas. Yeah. So for anybody that's been at my house in the past year, you all have seen it. And y'all, I don't feel no way about it. I don't, in no way but happy, let me say. So most people when they visit the house, they're like, "Oh, your tree is up. When did you do that?" December 2021. Mm-hmm. And for the people that know me, when they come and visit the house, they're like, "Yep, that tracks. That's who she is as a person." Yeah, always have loved Christmas. And so what happened last year, I put the tree up in December. Me and hubby put it up. And I decided to keep it up in January because that's my birthday month. And I said, I love my birthday and I love Christmas and the tree. So I'm keeping the tree up, right? And so then February came and I said, oh, maybe I'll take the tree down. And then I didn't because that was Valentine's and that's love. And I love Christmas and I love the tree. So I left it up again. And then something happened probably around February or March. I was doing some work and I was frustrated. And y'all, the tree is on a timer. So the lights come on at the same time every night. And so I was frustrated about this work. I was in the room where the tree was, and the tree came on, the lights came on, and I smiled. And I realized how much joy that tree brought me. And I said, you know what? It's my party. I can do what I want to do. I left the tree up. Yeah. So I see I got some comments here. Hold on. I'm gonna stop for a minute and look at the comments. Hey Kiani. Danielle said my grandmom used to play it. Danielle, yes, it is an older song. So what do the lonely do? I see Tasha got it. It was sung by the Emotions, which is actually a group I think out of Chicago. It was three sisters and it came out, this song came out I think 1973, somewhere in the 70s. I think it was 1973. And so I'm sure Danielle, your grandmom, knew the song, and I will tell you a little bit later. All of those types of songs, those are my songs, right? That's my era, actually, even though I wasn't even born then, right? Coco said her daddy's playlist from the Christmas music, yes, included the Emotions, yes. Samantha started singing it. What do they do? What do they do? That's my part. Yeah, yeah. So okay, let's see. Hey, Jess, good to see you. Yeah. Yeah. And so Tasha was telling y'all a little bit about the tree in the comments. Yes, it brings me all the joy. And yes, I keep the lights on, right? Because that's how I feel about Christmas. And that is because of how I was brought up. So my mom loved Christmas, my grandmom loved Christmas, my dad, everybody in my family, that was just a really good time of year for us. And so even though a lot of them are no longer here with me, I still have very beautiful memories, right? And so because of that, that is just my time of year. So, my feeling towards Christmas and holidays in general just includes love, excitement, enjoyment, all the good things. And that time of year really energizes me. And it reminds me of what I like about people. Because in general, people are usually a little bit nicer during that time of year. But I understand, y'all, that it's not the case for everyone. Everyone doesn't get filled with joy and excitement at the thought of the holidays, right? For many reasons. And I have also had my times. So when I lost loved ones, when my mom passed, she passed in August. I couldn't put a tree up that Christmas, right? Like what was that? 4 months later or so. I couldn't put a tree up. But I got back to it. It took a while. It was a journey, but I got back to what I loved about the holidays. So when I was thinking about what we were going to discuss for the holidays, the song "What Do the Lonely Do" immediately popped in my head. And so for people that don't know this about me, music is really big for me. It has always been a part of my life. So from growing up in my grandmom's cafe and playing the jukebox, people giving me money to go and play music on what they call the jukebox for people that don't know what that is. At Fine Foods Grill, shout out to anybody that knows Fine Foods or Lucille's. It was named both of those at one point. To being classically trained in piano at Birmingham Southern College, to being in the marching band, the jazz band, and the concert band, y'all, music has always been a big part of my life. And so there's not really a day that goes by where music is not inserted somewhere. And so a lot of times when I am thinking about things, a song that kind of expresses what I'm thinking and feeling will pop up. And that's what happened with What Would the Lonely Do at Christmas. Okay. Oh, hey, cousin. I see my cousin Caesar is on. He said breakfast at his grandma's house. Yes, so his grandmom was my Aunt Honey. And so, yes, we could hear all these songs at Aunt Honey's house. Yeah, Samantha says she smiled when she saw my tree, and hers is up as well. Yeah, I stay ready. Yeah, with stuff that fills me with positivity, with peace, with joy. I try to keep those things on tap. Okay. So Kiani says she's not looking forward to the holidays, and I understand why. Kiani, you are not alone. There are plenty of people who are not looking forward to the holidays. And that's why for me it was really important to do this series because I want to give people tools and strategies that can help them through the holiday. Okay. So, you all already answered my first question. What do the lonely do at Christmas? We know it's the emotions. We know it was made in the 70s. So, that song is in my top five favorite songs. It's in my top five. It is not my number one. So, I want to do a little trivia and I want to give away something. So, if you are the first to guess my all-time favorite Christmas song, I will send you one of my favorite resources. So that's going to either be a journal, a book on affirmations, a book about relaxation techniques, or even a book. I have a book on sacred rest, right? So it'll be some type of tool or resource that you can use. If you are the first to guess the song and the correct person singing it, I'll send you an Amazon gift card. Okay. So here's some hints. Again, love music, love all types of music, but my grandmother used to say that I was born in the wrong era because my favorite music has always been soul music. So, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, any song made around their time would be my favorite. So, with this song, with this Christmas song, it's been remade by plenty of artists throughout the years. It actually was released originally in the 1940s. And my favorite version of the song was actually released after the singer passed away. Okay. Okay, so my cousin is already guessing this Christmas Donny Hathaway. Not quite. That's in my top 10. That is not my number one. And so Danielle says Silent Night by the Temptations. Not it either. That is definitely in my Silent Night is probably in my top six or seven. Silent Night is probably in my top five, but definitely not number one. Samantha said we are young old millennials. That is absolutely true. So y'all, you can keep guessing in the comments. You can also send me a DM. But again, my all-time favorite Christmas song. Definitely not made, I'll just say, in the 80s or 90s or after. It has been remade plenty of times by plenty of artists. It was originally released in the 40s. And my favorite version was actually released after the singer passed away. Okay. So, y'all just think on that. Anybody who has heard me go through my playlist, you have heard this song many, many times. So, now, let's talk about how people feel during the holidays and why. So, Kiani hit on something, and because I know Kiani, I know why she said she's not looking forward to the holidays. But y'all drop in the chat for me. It doesn't have to be personal, it can just be something that you have witnessed. What are some things that people might be going through during the holidays? What are some reasons people might not be excited to see the holidays coming? Okay, y'all take a few minutes and drop those in the chat. And while y'all do that, I'm gonna look through these comments. Okay. Kim says grief, depression, finances. Yes. Tasha said death. Definitely. Definitely. All of those. And so Kim, you and Tasha both hit on something that I am going to do during the series, and I'm going to bring in some grief and loss specialists to talk to us about how to navigate during the holidays when we have experienced a lot of grief and a lot of loss. Depression, definitely. Y'all, let me just tell you, and you know I say this all the time. Y'all know I love the babies. And when I talk about babies, I am talking about really children, adolescents, teens, young adults, on into what Samantha and I in our lab we used to call emerging adulthood, right? So they're still babies, but they think they're grown, right? Y'all, these kids are going through a lot. Just like we're feeling stuff, they are feeling stuff. So, just this week at work, I have seen a number of cases where the kids are like, oh, it's getting darker earlier. I am depressed. I am sad. It's harder for me to get up because the sun isn't up. So, seasonal affective disorders are a thing, okay? And not just for adults, but also for kids. Let's see, Brian said issues with their families. Definitely. We're going to touch on a little bit of that tonight, and we're going to keep touching on that as we go. Let's see. Samantha said complicated family structures. Yes. And not that this has to be an issue, but when we get into, blended families, when we get into extended families, even sometimes just a nuclear family, but because there are concerns or there's conflict, right, it can be difficult to navigate some of these things, and it makes the holiday more anxiety provoking than pleasant and enjoyable. Yeah, so Danielle said bad breakups. Yep, Danielle, we are going to hit on that actually next week. I have a special guest coming to talk about navigating being single during the holiday season, and that would include, if you've had a bad breakup. Tasha said literally feeling lonely for various reasons. Yeah. And that is why what would the lonely do at Christmas? That was why that song was so salient for this, because that could represent a lot of different populations of people, right? So now in the song, she's talking about she doesn't have the person that she loves with her. We don't know why she doesn't have him with her, but she doesn't. But it could be you didn't have anybody to start with, or it could be you lost a loved one and so therefore you feel lonely. It could be you are stuck working in a different state and you can't be with the ones you love, and so you're lonely. It's a lot of different definitions for that word lonely. Yeah, Kim said, I'm torn this holiday season, pushing for my babies, but yes, it's the first one without Granny. Yeah. And so we have that, right? Like you have to be mom and auntie and, or uncle or dad or whoever, and you are still grieving. You are still dealing with loss. And Kim, it's also difficult because we know that the babies are also feeling the loss, and we want them to still have the holiday season that they are, used to. We want them to have some sense of normalcy. Yeah. And Kiana said, yep, I need to tune in for the single ladies. Yeah, so Kiana, that'll be tomorrow night. Or not tomorrow, excuse me, next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're going to talk about all the single ladies, all right, and all the single men. Yeah. So, one that I wanted to touch on, and you all said it in your comments. Thank you so much for all of the good comments. One thing that I wanted to touch on tonight is all of the emotion that can go into the holiday season. So, anxiety is what I actually used to see a lot when I was seeing the college students at UT. Anxiety would rev up around this time of year. And as a clinician, you like, what is going on? Like, I've been working with these kids. They have been doing better. Like, they're doing okay in school. They're navigating, this college life. They're navigating being an emerging adult. And now all of a sudden, they have all of this anxiety and all of this angst. And then once we looked at the patterns, it was like, oh, wait, they're about to go home for the holiday. And when you would pull some of that apart, we would find that, okay, these kids were anxious about what was going to happen when they went home. Some of them were anxious about where their grades might have been once they got there and if they were going to have conversations about that. But some of them were just anxious about leaving what they had kind of started to develop as their life and going back into their, parents' home, or going into a difficult situation where maybe they were going to spend part of the time with one parent and part of the time with another parent, right? Or assuming that they were going to go back into something that included a lot of conflict. And so, I saw that with college students, but we see that and we feel that just as adults as well, right? So, some people have anxiety about just being around their family and friends, not knowing how they might be received, not knowing what's going to be said. What questions are they going to ask? Is somebody going to ask me about my marital status or my relationship status? Is somebody going to ask me why I haven't gotten pregnant or why we don't have kids, right? Like, there are all these things that could come up and it produces a lot of anxiety. And then there are concerns about just the interactions. So, somebody I know sent me a TikTok about a family that was having a family meeting and they were preparing for the Thanksgiving meal. And so the conversation got heated, right? People felt slighted. Folks were trying to figure out who was going to cook what. And the people that were used to cooking were asked not to cook. And that was a whole thing, right? And y'all know how we feel about our food. It has to be right. It has to be, we have to know who's cooking, and it has to be the right recipe. And so, a lot of times, if we want to change who's cooking, or like if the older people are asked to let the younger people do it, it's a lot of pushback. And even though that TikTok was meant to be funny, it really highlighted how easily we can end up in conflict during the holidays. And how many of us know that these arguments, this conflict, it is rarely about that day. It rarely started that day. It's rarely about whatever it is that we're talking about in the moment, right? So, like this conversation on TikTok that was about mac and cheese, it wasn't really about mac and cheese. If you step back and look at it, it was the auntie, and the auntie was upset that they were saying that she couldn't make the mac and cheese anymore. Now, I'm sure she wanted to do her part, but really what she was saying is, I want to hold my place in this family. I feel like I have an important place. I want to feel needed by my family members. I want to make sure that I still have the same status that I usually have in this family. And so, what we don't realize, the conflict sometimes is coming from a totally different place. It's coming out of hurt feelings that were never addressed. It's coming out of misunderstandings that were never rectified, or people that's feeling like they're being judged or attacked. And so, while some of us are happy during the holiday season and we get excited, a lot of people are grappling with a lot of the things you all said, right? Anger, sadness, grief, grieving, continuously grieving, concern about finances, anxiety about who they're going to see and what those interactions are going to be like. And people just might be lonely because they're not with the people that they love the most, or they haven't even met that special someone and they feel like they kind of out here by themselves. So, y'all, what do we do for the holidays? What do these types of folks who are feeling all these different things and might be feeling lonely, what do we do for the holidays? And so, what I encourage people to do, and what I am going to say throughout this series, this holiday series, is that we should do whatever it is that is healthy and that makes us happy. Okay? So, if that means that we're setting boundaries and we're saying, no, we can't discuss my relationship status over dinner in front of everybody, then that's what it is. If it means that we're traveling to see family and we decide that we're going to stop at one central location and invite people to come see us instead of us driving to a dozen different homes to see everybody else, that's what it is. If it means that we're going to take a day to rest after we've cooked the family meal. Or we decide that we're going to outsource the cooking so we can spend more time with our family and not be tired and not end up sick. That's what it is. If it means that our family decides to take a trip for the holidays instead of being in a city that reminds us of loved ones who have passed away, that's what we're going to do. So I see Dr. Kim on here. Hey, Doc. Doc said preserve our energy. That's it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to preserve our energy. Definitely. And so, y'all, what I want to make very clear, there's no one size fits all answer here. Okay. This is like self care. And when I talk about self care, it depends on who you are and what you need. And so you have to first know who you are, and you have to know what you need, and then you have to do what all these smart folks in the comments are saying. You have to set some boundaries. You got to set some new norms, right? Hey, friend. Yeah. So I see Samantha said, I just lectured on this today, and the fact that the only thing that weakens Superman is kryptonite, a piece of his home. Yes. Y'all, listen. Everybody that knows me know I love my folks, right? My folks include a whole bunch of folks. That's family, that's friends that have become family, that's folks that I consider sisters and brothers, right? That's classmates, all of that. And I also love where I'm from, right? I love Fairfield, Alabama, okay? But there is something about home that sometimes can be very hard to digest, especially when you all you have left is memories, right? So for me, going to Fairfield is always a little sad. My mom, my dad, my grandma, my aunts, my uncles, they're no longer there. So that place is bittersweet for me, and it's still home, right? And so I have to do things when I am in the city that lifts my spirits. So that means spending time with the people that are there, seeing my best friend, seeing my brother, seeing my niece and my nephew, my sister-in-law, right? Making sure that I am surrounding myself with people that love me, right? And people that respect my boundaries. Because that's the other part. I'm going to have to protect my peace at all costs. So if you can't respect my boundaries, then I'm probably not seeing you, right? And we have to be okay with that. We have to understand that that's not selfish. That is us taking care of ourselves, okay? So, yeah. Hey, sis, all y'all on tonight. Thank y'all for being on with me. Yeah. So, y'all, I know plenty of people who would not be able to look at a Christmas tree all year, right? They probably won't even be able to put one up this year. It's too painful for them. And so that makes sense, right? Going back to this really depends on who you are and what you need. And so it's not a one size fits all. You actually have to tailor what you do to you and what you need, okay? But like I told y'all earlier, the tree that I have up has brought me all types of joy all year long. And so it will be up. It will continue to be up, okay? Hey, Siobhan. Siobhan says, same. I love Fairfield, but it's bittersweet. Mom is gone. Yeah, yeah. And y'all, we're at that age. Whatever age you might be on here, some of us are a little bit older than others, but we are at that age, really at any age, where death can come knocking and where we probably have experienced some loss and we probably have had to grieve. And so there will be bittersweet moments. But what do we do? How do we, for me, honoring my folks' memory is really important, and that helps me as I grieve because I am still grieving. I don't think we ever stop grieving. I think we learn how to grieve and continue to live, right? But honoring their memory is very important to me. So while I make new, I guess, new kind of memories, and I make new things that will become just for my family, I do that. I also still do some of the traditions that they taught me, right? So making sure that all my clothes are washed before New Year's. That was just something that we did in my family. So I honor them by continuing to do that. But the Christmas tree thing, my mama would have got me for still having that tree up. But that's one thing that I had to do for me, right? Okay, I see somebody else on here. Who else on here? Who did I see? Hey, Marilyn. I call her Tracy, but hey, Marilyn. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I see people are still guessing. So Kim guessed the Christmas song by Nat King Cole. That's not it. Christmas song is in the top 10, but that's not it. So, y'all, look, I have had a good time with you all tonight. I am going to wrap up now, but follow me, join me every Wednesday. The week of Thanksgiving, we will be off, and the week of Christmas, we will be off. But every other Wednesday, up until the end of the year, we will be talking about this holiday season. We will be talking about how do we navigate through, the difficult parts, and how do we identify the parts that we want to highlight, the parts that we want to celebrate, the parts that we want to, put in the forefront, the parts that make us happy. Okay, so we are going to have some awesome speakers on here. Next week will be Brianka Burnham, and she is a fellow speaker, a fellow next level sister of mine. She is awesome. And so she is going to come on and talk about navigating the single life during the holidays, and what are some things that we can do if we're single. I felt like there was some stuff I could tell y'all, but y'all, I'm not single. So I wanted to make sure that I got somebody who is walking that walk right now to give my single folks some good information. Okay. All right, let me see here. So Dr. Kim said I decided to skip family event. Yep. Y'all, preserving your peace. I probably starting in the new year, I'm gonna do a whole series on protecting and preserving your peace. It is so important. It is so important, not just for like your health. It's definitely important for that. It is also important for you to effectively walk out what God has for you to do. Okay, so y'all, we gonna talk about that. We gonna pull that apart. Hey, okay, I see y'all. One of my teachers, I'm not gonna say old teachers, because she was really close in age to me when I was in school. But one of my previous teachers is on here. Hey, how you doing? All right. So yes, y'all, for everybody that's saying they need to tune in, I am going to put the flyer up probably next Sunday or Monday. And then as usual, I will do a reminder on Wednesday to tell you all. And I will make sure that I specify that this is the episode for all the single ladies and all the single men. Okay. All right. Samantha said, I don't know what song it is, but it Luther. Yes. But Samantha, Big Luther. It can't be Little Luther. We need Big Luther. Yeah. But that is not it either. Okay. Yes, all the single ladies. All the single ladies. Y'all are hilarious. Y'all keep dropping comments. And hopefully, I see some people on here that probably hadn't seen each other, that know each other. Y'all say, hey, if you don't know each other, say hello in the chat. Meet a new friend. Okay. Yeah, but we keep sending me your thoughts about what my favorite song is. I will also put in the chat once the live ends all of the hints that I gave. And like I said, you all can DM me. So if you get just the name of the song, I will send you one of my favorite resources. If you get the name of the song and you get the artist that I like, not any artist that sung it, because there are plenty of artists that have sung this song, but the artist that I really love, actually, then I will send you an Amazon gift card. Okay. All right, y'all. So that is it for tonight. Samantha said, "Big yes, Big Luther with the curl that wasn't quite right. That's the Luther. That's the one that we love." Okay. All right, Dr. Kim said, one wish for Christmas. Nope, I love Whitney, but that is not it either. But I will drop the hints in the chat for you all. Nope, not Toni Braxton either. Love her, but definitely older than Toni. Definitely older than Toni. So I'm going to drop the hints in the chat. And if nobody gets it this week, then we'll do it again next week. And I will keep doing it until somebody gets it. All right. All right, y'all. I hope you have an awesome night. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Be safe. And y'all just stay blessed. All right.